Hey guys, CryptoDad here again. Thanks for joining me on the Tuesday morning Q&A, Bitcoin basics. We'll try to stick to the basics, talk about what Bitcoin is and how it works for those of you who are new, and I'll field questions. So thanks for joining me. All right, let's see here. All right. So no one's in the chat at the moment. That's fine. I'm going to move the window over here. I did get kind of a late start of getting the software up and running. I usually try to... you can schedule live streams on YouTube, and you can get everything set up in the YouTube interface so that there's a schedule and people see. I guess when I do that, people get alerts that are my subscribers so they can see that that I will be doing a live stream at a certain day and time. So this morning I was kind of getting a little off track, listening to some meditation music, and realized it was about 10 minutes to 8. So yeah. Anyway, the first thing that I'll cover this morning is how Bitcoin works. Bitcoin is a decentralized cryptocurrency. It is created by a computer program, and these transactions that get created are stored in a ledger, a digital ledger that we call the blockchain. Each group of transactions is called a block, and as blocks get stored, there are cryptographic methods of ensuring that they cannot be altered using hash technology. And basically a hash is a long number that gets generated when you run a mathematical transformation on a file. And that number is unique to that file. So if one digit or bit is changed in a file and you rerun that same mathematical transformation, it will have a different hash. So when the hash matches, you know that the file has not been changed. Now, this digital blockchain is not in one place, right? That's the thing about Bitcoin. It's decentralized. So there are multiple copies of this blockchain, this digital blockchain, stored on hundreds, thousands of computers all over the world. And these cryptographic methods are used to make sure that all of the blocks are in sync with all of the other blocks. So if you go online and you download a Bitcoin wallet, which installs the entire blockchain to your computer, it will query all of the other blockchain nodes and download it to your computer, and then use that hashing technology to confirm that you have a good and valid copy of the blockchain on your machine. And having done that on your machine, you contribute to the network. Now, not every Bitcoin wallet actually downloads an entire copy of the blockchain to your machine. There are many so-called light wallets where it just queries servers for the current state of the blockchain. Now, we're going to sort of, Makna, hello, welcome. We're going to sort of focus on how transactions work. That's a little more complicated, actually. So, the basics of a transaction are that you have a Bitcoin address. When you create a wallet, you generate, you've basically claimed a Bitcoin address on the blockchain space, right? There are thousands of empty addresses, millions, quadrillions, quadrillions, however you want to think of it, addresses out there. And so when you create a wallet on your computer, you basically generate a random key which claims one of those addresses. And that private key can generate a public key through math. And then using more math, we can take that public key and generate a receiving address. It's basically like moving into a new house, right? So when your friends and neighbors want to know how to contact you at your new house, you give them your address. In most places, like in the US, your address consists of some numbers and a street name and the city that you live in and the state and the zip code. So all of that put together is an address. And when we see something like that, we immediately recognize it, right? We say, oh, okay, yeah, that's an address. And I've never been there before, but I get it, right? It's I know what state it's in. I know it's in the U.S. You have a pretty good idea of where and what that address means, and its corresponding house. You can tell if it's a house or an apartment at quick glance, right? Now, a Bitcoin address is similar, and it's something that when I see it, I recognize it right away. Here's one right here, right? That's a Bitcoin address. You'll notice that Bitcoin address starts with a 1. This is an older format Bitcoin address scheme called the SegWit, or maybe even Legacy. The newer format starts with a BC1. It's just a different way of formatting the address mathematically. So if I have a Bitcoin address, I can send it to you and you can send me Bitcoins. Very simple. And every address is unique. So if I make a request to you for a certain amount of Bitcoin and give you my address, it's very simple for you to send me Bitcoin if you have a wallet. You simply go into your wallet and hit send, and you'll have a little field that asks you to, where do you want to send it and how much do you want to send. Pretty simple. So let's take a look at my Ledger Live interface. This is where I manage my Bitcoin addresses on my hardware wallet. So I have a Ledger Nano X. There are 2 flavors of the Ledger Nano. There's the Ledger Nano X and the Ledger Nano S. This is the older model, but it's cheaper. And, it works really well for basic stuff. If you're a little more advanced and you want a better, cleaner interface with a bigger screen and more storage space, this is definitely the way to go. But if you just have a couple of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, maybe Litecoin and Ethereum, and for long-term storage, then this is a good solution. It's cheaper. It's $79. This one I believe is $119. But if you use my code, you can get a discount. Let me see if I can find that code. Oh, no, that's not it. Let's see. Let's go over here. I don't know that I have it in this Bitcoin Basics. I'm pretty sure I don't. But I do have it in my latest live stream, so why don't we go ahead and update it. Yeah, these green money guys. We'll just copy that in here. Now this will be expiring pretty soon. They gave it to me. Where are we here? Oh, okay. I'll just put it down here. Yeah. Ledger gave it to me for a promotion that they were running. And it's CryptoDad 2020. And you can go on the Ledger website and use it as your checkout code. If you're interested in buying a Ledger Nano X or S. So, when you check out, after you've added this thing to your cart, let's see, where is it? Yeah, if we add this. Oh, it's $119. And then when you check out, you'll just apply that discount code. You'll get like a 20% discount on that. So if you're going to buy one, that I would recommend you use my code to get yourself a discount. I got a pretty good relationship with Ledger. It's my wallet of choice. I spent a lot of time doing videos on Ledger products. I've done Trezor, I've done Elipal, I've done KeepKey. I've done lots of videos for lots of different types of wallets. But this is my wallet of choice based on my experience. So, you know, it's just the way to go. Anyway, so let me see who's here. Good morning, Dee. Good morning, Adam. Ant. Belinda Hart. Good morning. Celtic fan is here. Wonderful. A regular viewer of my live streams. Iram H. Afternoon from the UK. Just a quick one. Trying to update Ledger live, but it's taking longer than usual. You had this problem. That is not specific to any particular software. Every now and then there's a glitch. I don't know if the problem is that you're having trouble with the download, or you're in the middle of the install and that's taking a long time. So my suggestion, and what you're probably doing, is in portfolio here, there's a blue bar at the top that says update, and you've clicked update. That works most of the time, but it, depending on the state of your computer, my computer, I recently did a full reinstall of Windows. I wiped my hard disk clean and reinstalled from scratch. I do that periodically, at least once or twice a year, and it solves so many problems you just wouldn't believe. Now, I know that's hard for most people to do that clean install, because you have to, know how to back everything up and then, reinstall everything and get everything back on there running. So it's quite a chore for most people. It's quite a chore for me too, but I can usually get it done, about half a day. But anyway, so I was having trouble with that blue bar because my computer had degraded in performance over time. They always do. Computers degrade in performance over time after you've installed Windows and used it for a while. Temp files, your computer gets, your disk gets fragmented. I mean, there's all sorts of things that happen over time. Just like a car, when you drive a car, it wears out, right? You've got to, get it repaired. You got to maintenance, got to put oil in it, right? And if you just use your computer day in and day out, it's going to get, wonky. A good easy remedy is to, reboot it on occasion, right? Don't just let it sit on and sleep and then wake it and use it and wake it and use it for weeks, months at a time. Your computer will really get wonky if you do that. So a nice fresh restart might be in order, and then try again. So just like bomb out of Ledger Live if you can. Force quit it if you have to, if you're in the middle of the download, and just reboot your computer, relaunch Ledger Live, and try again. See how that goes. Now, another strategy that you can use when the update isn't working properly is to just go to Ledger Live, ledger.com, and just download the Ledger Live separately. Right? Don't run the in-app update. Just close Ledger Live, go download the latest version of Ledger Live, drop it in your downloads folder, and just run it independently by itself without having Ledger Live launched. Oh, look, it is taking a while. Yeah, look, their server must be busy right now because it's taking much, much longer than usual. Yeah, usually when I download Ledger Live, it takes like 30 seconds, 1 minute. And here it's telling me that it's going to be 5 minutes. So I'm assuming that's what your issue is. It's taking a while to download. So if it's taking a while to download it directly from Ledger, then the in-app update is probably also doing the same thing. That really is all it does, right? When you run that in-app update, it's basically under the hood, it's doing this. It's going to Ledger, it's downloading the latest installer, and then it's running it within your application while you've got it open, right? So definitely, I just rebooted my computer yesterday. I usually leave it on for several days at a time. But I'll, and now that I've got a clean system, man, it's running great. But yeah, it's definitely taken longer than usual. They're a big company and they've got a lot of servers, but they're not Amazon, right? They're not Microsoft. They have technical issues with their servers sometimes, just from being overloaded. I don't know why they'd be overloaded now. They usually get overloaded when they just release a new version. And the new version has been out for a few months now. So it may just be environmental, whatever, either they're having trouble or their area is having trouble with internet access, that kind of thing. So yeah, as you can see, it's taking quite a while to download. So it's not you. It could be you, but it's most likely just them, right? Okay, Susan Baduro. Hi, CryptoDAO. My computer got spilled on and died. I opened another Ledger Live on another computer, used the same Ledger Nano S, loaded my phrase words, and it won't show the cryptos I had before. Well, Susan, I would like to kind of go through that today. What you've done, and you've done everything right. Don't worry, Susan. You're in good shape, right? You did not restore this, right? You didn't touch this. You just got a different computer, installed Ledger Live, and you connected this guy, and you've got a blank copy of Ledger Live. Of course you do, right? That's what, when you first install it on your computer knows nothing about any of your accounts yet, right? You're going to have to scan that information in. So let me see if I can... yeah, if you look at device setup here, when you get to this, you need to say skip device setup, right? And then just continue on. And I'll do this. Why not? I've got my device connected. I need to get out of the app that I'm in. Right, let me show you what I'm doing here. I'm in an app, right? So I'm just going to get out of it and hit both buttons and quit. Right, so it can do its online genuine check. All right, and I need to allow Ledger Manager. This is the genuine check, okay, and they're fine with that. Let's hit continue. I'm going to hit open Ledger Live and see all of my accounts are still there, right? Because they were there before I did this. But in your case, Susan, you're going to have to scan for accounts. So I wanted to show you how that works. I deleted a Bitcoin account before we started, and I wanted to show you how easy it is to get your Bitcoin account back, right? So I've got a Bitcoin account on here, but there's another one I know has some Bitcoin in it that's not showing here. So how do we get that back? Well, you just go to add accounts. Now, if you got a blank copy of Ledger Live, the only thing you'll see is add account, right? So you click add account. You tell it what kind of account you want to add. I want to add Bitcoin. I'll hit continue, right? Now I need to be in the Bitcoin app, right? So I need to navigate over on my device until I get to Bitcoin. Now when I'm on Bitcoin, I hit both buttons, right? And now I just let it scan my device. It's going to scan my device for Bitcoin accounts. The device stores the private keys of all of the Bitcoin wallets that you've ever created on this device. It never forgets them, right? All you got to do is hit add account, and it's going to scan for all of your Bitcoin wallets that you've created. Now you hopefully, well, not hopefully, but I'm assuming that you may only have one Bitcoin account, right? You might have two, I don't know. But I've got a lot, right? Because I'm constantly adding accounts and doing demos and deleting accounts and, So you can see that, but the interesting thing is that it doesn't forget any of them. No, it doesn't remember the names of the accounts that you created, right? It just knows they're there. And the addresses and the transaction histories are all there. But the names are not, right? So I'm going to hit deselect all. I'm going to go down here. There's the one I'm looking for, right? That's the one that got deleted and it needs to be added again. So I'm going to just tick it, and I'm just going to call it Bitcoin native SegWit. I'm just going to take that 9 out of there. Now, these other two right here are empty, right? It's asking me, do you wish to, do you want to add new account? So you can add an empty account with a blank history using a SegWit or native SegWit. I really don't need to do that. I just want to add the one that was there already, all right? And then you see this dim one here. That's the one that was already in my Ledger Live. You can see it down here, right? So it knows that it's already in the portfolio. So now I'll hit add account. I'll close this out, and boom, there it is. Bitcoin native SegWit right there, $762. That did I lose that $768? It didn't show in Ledger Live. Well, it wasn't gone. It was on my device, right? Let's see. Why don't we scan for another cryptocurrency? Let's hit add account. Let's hit Litecoin. Let's see if I got any Litecoin in here. We'll hit continue. Now I need to be in the Litecoin app, so I'm going to have to get out of the Bitcoin app. Let's go hit the button until we get to quit, right? And now let's move over to Litecoin and hit both buttons. And let's see if it finds any Litecoin accounts. I think it'll find a Litecoin account. It might be empty. I think I got rid of the Litecoin that I had a while back. But the wallet is still there. Even though it's empty, Ledger Live recognizes that it existed at one point and it has transactions in it. Oh, looky, there's some in there actually. Okay, it's not a lot, some. All right, so it found an existing Litecoin account. Let's just call this one Litecoin. Whoops. And it also is offering me the opportunity to create an empty one with a blank history and a zero balance. I really don't need to do that. I just want that one back that I had on there before. I'll hit add account. We'll close that. And lo and behold, there we go. There's Litecoin. Now, there's not much in there, but you'll notice. Oh, I guess it was just that one. Okay. Oh, okay, there. Boom, 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 boom. See? There's a whole transaction history there. All of that information is stored on the Ledger device, right? All of the transaction histories, the current balance, everything is stored in the Ledger. So you have to, after you reinstall Ledger Live, you have to add accounts in order to scan the device for your information on all of it. This Ledger Live is simply an interface to the wallets that are stored on the device, right? And when you do a clean install of Ledger Live, you need to go back and do add accounts again. But you don't have to do anything to the Ledger. The Ledger is fine. It had everything on there. I hope that answers your question, and I hope you will find all of your cryptocurrency, Susan. So best of luck to you. I bought an X but wished I had picked the S instead. Sorry, wrong way around. Yeah, the Ledger, I had the Ledger S for a while. It's a great device. That's what got me hooked on Ledger in the first place. But over time, I started to really get irritated because it didn't hold enough apps. It didn't have enough room for all of my different cryptocurrencies, even though it supported them. So I was constantly shuffling apps on and off the device because it just doesn't hold as much information as the newer one. So it was just a real hassle. I don't want to say hassle, but it just got old, right? Like, I've already got Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum on here. I can't put, Tezos on here. So I'm going to have to delete my Litecoin app and put the Tezos on. It was just, got old. So this one holds so many more apps than the S, right? So if we go to Manager, we can see, It wants me to get out of the application that I'm in, right? It'll tell me what I need to do, right? And it wants me to connect the device, which I've done, right? So it's all happy now. All right. Now you can see I'm at the home screen here, and the home screen corresponds to all of the apps that are on the device, right? So I can see I've got the Bitcoin Cash, I got Stellar, Monero, Tron, shows me how much space they're taking up and how much free space I have. So I've got about 2 megabytes of space, 1.8, and over a meg free. So I could put like 20 or 30 apps on this guy, whereas the Ledger Nano S only holds about 4 or 5, depending on which. You can see some of them take up less room than others, right? I don't know where Bitcoin is. Got to be on there somewhere. Huh, there's Bitcoin, right? 64K. Let's see here. Good morning, Global Smart Solutions, Adam78, GS Bacon, Melancholy Chill, first time catching me live. That's cool. A lot of people are getting their first exposure to crypto. There are so many more on-ramps these days. Yes, there are. It used to be really hard to buy Bitcoin. When I first started, I didn't even know how to buy it. I don't know. There may have been an exchange back then, like that one that went belly up in 2011, I guess, whatever it was. There may have been, but I didn't know anything about exchanges when I first got into Bitcoin. I bought a Bitcoin miner, and that was how I got my first Bitcoin through. It was like a machine. And back in those days, you could buy a Bitcoin miner for like $350, and it effectively would mine Bitcoin. These days, if you want to mine Bitcoin, you've got to invest a lot of money in equipment, right? Anybody that tells you that you can make money mining Bitcoin is probably trying to scam you. You know, all these websites where they go, oh, become a millionaire, be a Bitcoin miner. They're just trying to scam you. You have to buy highly specialized equipment and to make money mining Bitcoin, right? You can do it, but you would spend, let's say you spend $2,000 on your Bitcoin miner. It might take you 6 months to a year to get the Bitcoin back that would cover your initial investment, right? So it's not like a get rich quick scheme, right? But anyway, I digress. What don't I like about Trezor? That's a good question. What I don't like about Trezor. I'm not that crazy about the Trezor web-based interface. I know I like the Ledger Live standalone application. It has when I first started with the Ledger, it didn't have its own app. It used Chrome apps, and then Ledger Live came out, which was cool, and it was great and everything. But it was it didn't have too many features, and then that slowly has improved over time. The Trezor has a web-based interface, which I'm not that crazy about software-wise. I'm just not that crazy about web-based apps. There's other hardware wallets that use those too. I think KeepKey uses a web-based interface. If you're in a web browser running application software, if you're not a very experienced user, you could easily be fooled by a different web app that looks similar that might steal your Bitcoin. So I'm not saying that that's going to happen with the Trezor, but the interface is a little harder for me. I've got both different kinds of Trezors, and tapping in that pin is a little wonky for me. but maybe just because I'm used to the ledger. There are pros and cons on both, right? Trezor has been around longer. A lot of people believe in Trezor. I have no problems with Trezor, really. I just prefer Ledger Live. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Trezor. It has its own unique features. Some of them a little better than Ledger, some of them not the same, some of them not as good. It's just like, do I like Coke or Pepsi, really? Ivan is here. I'm not Bill Gates. Nick Valerio won a lot of money in the lotto, I guess. Am I Bill Gates? No. Blake. I stripped my Nano and started like a new one. Oh, Susan. Oh, okay. Well, but did you restore it? I'm assuming if you used your recovery phrase and restored it, then you should be fine. Now, Susan, you may have fallen into a trap that a lot of people fall into, and that's that they initialize their ledger device, and then they don't quite get what's going on, and Ledger tells them, and they reinitialize the device and create a brand new recovery phrase, right? It starts giving you words, and then people, they run over and they start frantically writing down the new recovery phrase. And then when they're done, they've reinitialized it with a different recovery phrase. And then they wonder where all their crypto is. Well, you reinitialized the device. You did not restore the device. You need to restore the device. You need to go back into your original box or wherever you put that original card that you filled out when you first bought your ledger and restore it to its original configuration, the one that you stored all of your cryptocurrency on. So let's see here. Let's go to CryptoDad. Whoops. Rex, can you type? No, you can't. Okay, let's see what we got here. That's a Ledger S. I would probably, well, we can do that. Whoops. I don't know why my YouTube is doing that a lot. Now, this is kind of an old video, but it still applies. And then you might want to check out this one, which is the Ledger Nano X. A little, I'm not sure which one you have.
Hey guys, CryptoDad here.
So I would check out these videos. They give you step-by-step walkthrough on how you restore your device with your original recovery phrase. Now, if you wrote down that recovery phrase when you first set up the device and now you lost it, then you're done. You lost all your crypto, right? So you definitely need to find that original recovery phrase that you wrote down when you first bought it, right? So I don't know exactly what happened to you. I'm just kind of speculating that you accidentally restored it and created a new passphrase or 24-word recovery phrase, because that's fairly common with newcomers because the ledger can be a little daunting when you first set it up. So hopefully those videos show you exactly what to do on the device to do the restore, right? Rather than the initial setup. Right, so if that's your problem, you need to get that device restored. Right, so hopefully that'll get you out of the weeds. Okay, so Mark Gavin, let's hang on. Yeah, you can use any ledger device to do a restore. What about the Exodus integration with Trezor? Okay, well, that's great if you use Exodus. I don't use Exodus, but that's a feature. That's cool. There are a lot of other web-based wallets and uh, wallet software that interface with Ledger too. Quite a few of them, actually. So, I mean, I want to get into a whole argument with you. If you like Trezor, great. I do too. I just don't use it on a daily basis. Uh, I use my Ledger Nano device. Hopefully that'll work for you, Susan. Chadwick is here. No, I have not heard of Texame. You used your own phrase. That's good, Susan. Okay. You did that. Good. I'm sorry. I'm talking to the past here, right? Mark. Okay, good. So Susan knows what she's doing. Okay, good. You put in your original phrase. Good, good, good. Okay, so hopefully then your only issue was getting the Ledger Live accounts re-added. Hopefully. Yeah. Okay. All right, so Gavin has asked about ERC20 tokens. He's got an ERC20 token and he wants to figure out how to get it onto its ledger, uh, his Ledger Nano S. Not difficult at all. Right? If you've got an Ethereum account, let's say we got an Ethereum account here, you can see I've got some tokens in here already. Several ERC20 tokens. It's really easy to get an ERC20 token into an Ethereum wallet. All you have to do is send them to the address of the wallet. You can do receive. Now, they've got a little interface here that makes it a little more, like if I do receive here, and I take this Ethereum address, I can send ERC20 tokens to this Ethereum address. I just copy it into my clipboard, go over to my exchange, and do a withdrawal, and tell it send the coins to this address. Now, you can add token. There's a more step-by-step way of doing this. You say add token, and what do you got here? I have gold standard. Never heard of gold standard. All right, let's see if we can find that guy. Gold standard. Never heard of that. Okay. Gold standard. Whoops. Gold standard? Whoops. I don't know. I don't see gold standard. Can you tell me which one of these you're talking about? I don't, because I don't see a gold standard ERC20 token. Now, there are a lot of ERC20 tokens that are so small and so new that they're not supported yet in Ledger Live, right? Just because someone is able to create an ERC20 token doesn't mean that it's going to be listed on a bunch of exchanges or supported in a bunch of wallets, right? That comes slowly over time. The coin has to prove itself first. Anybody can create a coin. I can create a coin, a worthless coin, and and start telling people to buy it, but it doesn't mean that it's viable yet. So I don't know. There's a lot of like penny stocks out there. There's a lot of fly-by-night coins that are being created that are claiming, hey, this is the next best big thing, and they aren't, right? I'll just have to go back and do it again, I suppose. I can't figure out why I wouldn't retrieve my info off the blockchain. Oh well, I'll try it again. It would be nice if Ledger Live just, if you could just connect your device and it would just like restore everything you had on the old Ledger Live. But unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. You kind of have to do it coin by coin, right? It's just the way the interface works, right? Just like when you installed Ledger Live the first time, it was blank, right? And you created empty accounts and you put some coins in there. But, you know, when you first installed Ledger Live, it was blank too. So it would be, you know, if you had the old Ledger Live, you could kind of restore it if you copied the file into the right place. But the old computer's dead, so that's not it's not an alternative. There are ways of doing that as well. If you're moving from one computer to a new computer, you could actually back up the Ledger folder in your app data folder and drop it in your new computer's app data folder, and it would, you know, all of your accounts would be there, right? But your computer got fried, so you're having to start from scratch. XRP is up today. That's good. I've heard of Gold Standard in CoinSpot in Australia. Actually, it's a great exchange. I like it. Is it an exchange or an ERC20 token? Let's try that. Gold Standard Exchange. Well, that's going to get me a lot of hits. Crypto. Maybe if I spelled standard correctly. Yeah, too many hits on this. So I'm not sure. Are you talking about an exchange? Vidra Kumra is having problems. Sign-in problem from Nano S when sending ERC20 tokens. Okay. So if you decide you want to send some ERC20 token out to somewhere, let's send one from one account to another. So I got this guy here. I'm going to do receive. Here's my address. I'm not going to verify it because I know it's the right address. I've used that address many times. Let's go over to Ethereum main and send some cryptocurrency from one to the other. Let's do BAT. Let's do a send. And we'll paste in the address. Okay, so Vijendra, have you gotten to this point yet? Are you having trouble loading Ledger Live? Is like the program not loading? You said you're having sign-in problem. So you can't get into Ledger Live. It's not accepting your password. And this is Nano S, so I'm assuming you're using Ledger Live. Right? You might be using My Ether Wallet website. I don't know. Maybe expand a little bit on your question. All right, we'll hit continue. How much BAT will we send? Let's send 500. All right. That's a lot. Let's send 50. Yeah, let's not send a lot. Let's try that. Let's hit continue. And there we go. Let's go back here. Now, this is the point where some people wonder what's going on. You can adjust your gas price higher or lower. I usually just leave it at its default. It's kind of in the middle. If you choose a low gas price, that means your transaction will take longer because Ethereum has a mining community too. And they program their miners to look for higher fees, right? So if you want your transaction to process faster, you would slide it up. But we're only talking less than $1 worth of difference here. So I usually just leave it at its default, right? We'll hit continue. Now, maybe this is the sign-in issue that you're having, right? This is where you need to take some action on your device, right? I need to get into the Ethereum app here. So maybe you missed that step. Right? You have to be in the Ethereum app, and you have to watch your device because it's going to ask you some questions. It's asking me to review the transaction. So I need to hit the right button and move over one. There it is. That's the amount. Move over again. There's the address. Move over again. There's the fees. And then the last screen is accept and send. So maybe you're missing that step. A lot of people go through these steps and then they just ignore the device. And they just stare at their computer screen, which is spinning around telling them, check your device. But they don't quite understand what's going on. So I don't know if that's your sign-in issue or not. Right? So there, it just said that I sent out 50 BAT. My balance went down. Let's look over at the other account. Let's do that. We should see that transaction that came in, right? I just sent it from one place to another. Let me get this out of the way. Just keep an eye on that. Should come in shortly. Or not. It'll come in. Don't worry. We'll just wait for it. Let me check this. Oh, and someone just sent me a tip. Martin Mishagi, can you store unlimited amount of crypto in a single hardware wallet? Yes, you can. Right? I'm glad you asked that because I had somebody that sent me a question about, and they were moving crypto around, and they started it off by saying, I moved some crypto to this other wallet because I wanted to free up some space on my ledger. There's some confusion here. The short answer to your question is yes, you can store an unlimited amount of Bitcoin on your Ledger Nano S. You can store as much as you can buy, right? You can store an unlimited amount of Litecoin. You can store an unlimited amount of Ethereum. But you do need to have all of the apps on there to support all of those different cryptocurrencies. And the Ledger device will only hold so many. So there is a limit to the number of apps that you can hold on a Ledger device at any given moment. But you can, if you've got 30 cryptocurrencies on here and you want to add cryptocurrency 31, we'll call this one X31, whatever the name of the cryptocurrency is. All you got to do is go back and delete apps 29, 28, whatever. Just you can delete a few of your apps to free up some space on the device, on the apps, right? But that does not delete the wallets, right? It just you can shuffle the apps on and off, right? So if you've got a Ledger Nano S, you are going to get to a point where you've got your apps full, but you can very easily manage your apps. Just shuffle them on and off, and you can leave the balance in Ledger Live, right? You could have all of the cryptocurrencies and the account information in Ledger Live, and you can monitor the balance and incoming transactions and all that. But in order to send out, you would have to have the app on there at the time you're sending out. So let's just say, come on, manager. Let's just say I'm trying to send out Cardano, right? And the Cardano app is not on my device at the moment. Let's do Dash, okay? Because I don't have Dash on there now. But let's say I had some Dash in here at some point and a balance, and I could see it in my Ledger Live. In order to send out, I would have to reinstall the Dash app, and then I could send the Dash out, because you have to be in the Dash app to send Dash out. Yes, you can store, but your Bitcoin wallet will never get full, right? Your Bitcoin wallet can hold as much Bitcoin as you can get your hands on, right? there's only 21 million Bitcoins that will ever be in existence. So I guess your limit would be 21 million. And every cryptocurrency has its own, what they call the circulating supply, right? So you can see that in right, circulating supply. This is the amount of a particular cryptocurrency in circulation. So those are really the only limits you have on how much cryptocurrency you can hold in a ledger device. And like I said, you can fill up the ledger device with as many different cryptocurrencies as you want to own. And you will get to a point where it might be full. But you can always shuffle apps on and off to manage your balances. All right? So I don't know how many different cryptocurrencies you own or plan on owning. But if you've got a lot of different ERC20 tokens, those can all be added almost ad infinitum into one Ethereum wallet. So the Ethereum app is the only app you need to manage those. So yeah, I can just put ERC20 tokens on here like there's no tomorrow. And that doesn't take up any more app space on the device than any others. Right. Yeah, Susan, if you're having a particular issue during your restore, you can throw out a comment, or you can shoot me an email. Yeah, and if you shoot me an email, just try to be specific about exactly what's going on, so I'll have some idea. I get a lot of comments that say, help me. I don't know. And they don't even explain what it is they want help with, you know? It's like, you know, I don't know what to do about those. But when people ask me very specific questions, there's usually a pretty straightforward answer, and I can, like, just shoot back an answer for you. Yeah, I'd be more than happy to do that. Some of the coins you need to leave some of them for fees, even if they are ERC20. For example, KCS. Generally, the ledger, and let's see if we ever got those. Come on, where are those? I could have sworn I sent them. Did I send them or did I not send them? Or did I put them in the wrong wallet? It's just freaking me out that they haven't got there yet. Okay. It's a good thing I only did 50. All right. It says right here I sent 50 right there. Sent. Oh, what's that? Huh, that's weird. It's not confirmed yet. Okay. Well, maybe the Ethereum network is running slow today. All right. Not confirmed. It might have something to do with the slow server on the ledger side, but generally that stuff takes place on the blockchain, right? So let's relaunch Ledger Live. Let's go back. Still not. Oh yeah, no, that's the sent, but it doesn't have any information here, so that's kind of weird. Let's look at that transaction ID. Let's go to Etherscan. All right, let's put that ID in there. Let's see what's going on. It says it was successful 8 minutes ago. I don't see the amount. Basic attention token from and to. Huh, I don't see the amount. That's weird. from 2. All right, so Did I send it to the wrong address? I don't think so. I know that address. This one looks weird. 2. There's basic attention. Oh, it must be the contract or whatever. So 8 cents of Ethereum, 50 basic attention tokens. Oh, okay. I think this is the one I'm thinking of. Yeah. Okay. Let's go back here one more. E48, right? Let's take a look over here. Maybe I put it to this one. No? All right. Let's go back. No. Okay. All right. Let's do a receive again. E48. Yeah, that's the one. Right? Should be there. It's just not showing up in Ledger Live. So I'm assuming Ledger Live is just having some issues right now. So, because it went through, it's fine. So look, this says 6791. Let's look at this. This says, where's the balance here? 6791. Said just got 50 that came in, right? Incoming 50. So I don't know. It's not showing up in Ledger Live for some reason. Let's look at BAT. Oh, there it is. Whatever. I don't know. I guess I was that was showing me Ethereum transactions, not BAT. Right. So you see, I did a little detective work there, trying to figure out what happened to those 50 BAT I sent. And as it turns out, I was just looking in the wrong place in Ledger Live, right? I was looking here on the main screen where these transactions are all Ethereum, right? These are the main wallet transactions. I should have dug down into the BAT and looked at the BAT incoming and outgoing. So I was fine. I was just freaking out, right? But I do troubleshooting online all the time. You guys see me having issues, and I figure them out. I hate doing it under pressure, but it happens. I'll try to be as specific as I could with a 200-word limit. That's funny. I like you explained the Monero coin the other night. Makes sense to invest in Monero. Only my option. My opinion, though, not financial advice. Yeah. Privacy coins are having like a renaissance, or whatever you want to think about it. There's a lot of sentiment in this market, and I don't know, about 6 months ago, or not quite a year ago, there was a lot of talk about regulation, and that made a big difference in crypto. And KYC, a lot of exchanges were adding know your customer rules, like validating IDs, preventing money laundering and human trafficking and all that stuff, right? So they're saying, cryptocurrencies have to comply with all the financial regulations and blah blah blah, which was kind of a fad in cryptocurrencies. In the mainstream of cryptocurrencies. And during that time, there were a lot of exchanges that were delisting the privacy coins for those reasons, right? Because they were not able to comply with these KYC regulations with privacy coins, right? Because if I'm buying and selling, if an exchange has Monero on there, they don't know who's buying and who's selling, right? Because it's a privacy coin. So they were getting delisted. And during that time, the privacy coins price was getting hit, right? Everyone was like, oh, privacy coins are dead. Nobody's going to want them anymore because they can't be validated on exchanges. Exchanges are delisting them. They're dead. Well, as it turns out, they weren't dead. And now, with the Fed pumping billions into the economy and, watering down the U.S. dollar and trying to exert surveillance and control over everybody's money, privacy coins are back, right? Everyone realizes, gee, maybe I don't want the government to know every time I buy a pack of gum, right? Maybe I would rather have my private transactions remain private. So the privacy coins are back on the rise again because people want financial privacy. There is nothing wrong with privacy. That's why bathrooms have doors and windows have curtains, right? We all deserve privacy. So why is it that all of a sudden the government wants to tell us that if you want financial privacy, you're some kind of, drug dealer or money launderer or, child molester, just because you want financial privacy in your transactions, right? It's one of those, they want to make you feel guilty for wanting privacy, but you shouldn't feel guilty for wanting privacy, right? The government wants privacy. They don't want you to know what they're doing. Try getting some information out of your government and see how they feel about their privacy, right? Government doesn't like it when, like Julian Assange, exposing private government files. Ooh, they didn't like that one bit, right? So why should you put up with it as a human, right? Just my opinion. Okay, Stephen, Rex, I hope you'll read this. I highly appreciate your videos. They are very relevant and helpful. Thank you. I was pretty skeptic, but a good IT friend of mine is already involved in this blockchain for a while. I finally started mid-March this year, and the more time I invest, the more I'm convinced. The world is bigger than Bitcoin, but mainstream media do not know that. Interesting take, Stephen. I'm glad you're getting involved in cryptocurrency. As better late than never, or no time too late, I guess is probably a better way of saying it. It's never too late to get started in cryptocurrency. I think of it in a lot of ways. It's not just one thing, but I think of it as a way to save my money. I put my money in crypto so that it's not in my pocket when I go into the store. I'm the kind of guy that goes into a store and pretty much spends all the money I got on me, right? I'm like, ooh, I want one of those, I want one of those, I want one of those. And then when I get to the register, I'm watching the price, and it's like, gee, I hope there's enough on my credit card for this purchase, right? I'm that kind of guy, right? But when I put my money in crypto, it's unreachable to a certain extent. I mean, I can always get to it if I want to, but it's just not handy, right? So it's an easy way for me to set money aside, as most people would do in a bank, right? I'm just not that crazy about banks, right? Because they pay you no interest, and it won't be long before there'll be negative interest. It's pretty much negative as it is, right? You have a checking account, it's usually getting dinged, with a service charge once a month. So your checking account basically doesn't pay interest. So you're basically paying the bank to hold your money for you. And if you got a savings account and you're getting 1%, you're in the minority. I don't think any savings account give you 1% anymore. It's like 0.5% or 0.1% interest on a savings account. It's ridiculous. Back in the day, you used to get 4 or 5% on a savings account. You'd get regular statements. Ooh, I $2.34 this month that I earned in my savings account, but phew, banks, what do they do for you lately, right? Nothing, right? So if I'm going to save my money, I prefer to save it in crypto on my own wallet, so that, if I wake up one morning and someone tells me there's, financial crisis, panic, and I jump in my car to go get the money out of my bank, and there's a line of the ATM around the block, that could happen to me, right? I'm not going to let that happen to me. My money is safe and secure in my own wallet, right? I'm in charge of my finances. And then, of course, the decentralized nature of Bitcoin, I like that. I like the fact that it's probably going to go up in value over time. That's a plus. I think that's why most people are into crypto. They're hoping to, gain in their initial investment, right? So, but be wary, right? Don't ever put money in crypto you can't afford to lose, and be prepared to lose your entire investment. Those are the big ones. Don't ever put money in you can't lose, and be prepared to lose the entire investment, right? And in addition to that, be prepared to wake up in the morning and look at your portfolio and see it crashing negative red, right? That happens a lot. You just have to hang in there, right? Just roll with the punches. I don't usually sell on red days. I buy on red days. And on green days, I count my blessings, right? There have been times where I've needed to cash out of my crypto when I needed some extra cash, and it was there for me, right? And it's liquid, right? It's real easy to move it around, send it places. Like your bank, it takes a few days. Okay, guys. Gino, cash bank accounts are all clean. LOL. Agree, 100%. Thanks, Gino. How do you know which coins to invest in? There are so many to choose from. I'll end with that. Look at coinmarketcap.com and look at your top 10 or 20. And those are safe bets, right? Those are bets that, and then look at a coin and look at its all-time high, right? Let's go to Litecoin. 44.79. Let's look at its all-time high. I can't get it to stick. I was pretty sure that Litecoin was like 332, right? So do you think it's going to go back to its all-time high? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? But it's a good indicator of what this coin was worth in better times, right? Bitcoin's all-time high was 20,000 back in 2017. Will it get back there again? We don't know. Maybe, right? So all of these coins in the top 10 or 20 are pretty beaten down off their all-time highs. So stick with those. Do your research. Check out the charts. Go on YouTube. There's a lot of investment channels. I am a how-to guy, but there's a lot of channels out there that are investment channels. But this is just my opinion. Don't pay people for their advice. There's a lot of people out there that are saying, okay, subscribe to me, pay me $300 a month, or just for a one-time payment of $1,500, you'll get my everything catalog on the right coins to buy. Don't pay people for investment information. Do your own research. Now, I have talked to some people who have done that and have gotten some pretty decent advice. But for me, I'm not going to pay someone for information, right? I'm the kind of person that'll dig around for information of my own, right? That may be a crazy way to live in this world, but I prefer not to pay other people for information, right? I got the internet at my fingertips. Anyway, you can go for the most popular ones, usually based on their market cap. You also do your own research, get a feel about which coin or blockchain project solves the problem. Yes, for each coin, you should go to their website and read their use case, right? Find out what it is this coin is all about, what problem it solves, if any, right? So every coin has a story. Let's go to see, I messed up here. For example, let's go to XRP, right? Let's go to the XRP website. Find all about Ripple, what it is, what it does, how it works, how long it's been around, what its price history has been, all that kind of stuff. But my advice for newbies is look in the top 10 or 20. For all these small coins, you might get lucky and strike it rich, but you could just as easily not strike it rich. But a coin in the top 10 or 20, you got a much better chance of making a decent. It may not be a to the moon return, but you'll probably end up with more than you started with. May not be double, triple, or quadruple, but it will, probably be a good solid place to park your hard-earned cash, right? Anyway, guys, we're the restrictions are easing here in Michigan a little bit. They've extended the lockdown until May 15th, but they are allowing some activities that were restricted, like I think now you can go out in your boat, that kind of stuff. But the nurseries are now open, and my wife loves plants, and we're going to go to the Countrywide Nursery in Allendale so she can look around. We called them yesterday to confirm they are open for business, and we can go in there and get some plants. So that's on my chart today. Hey, Scott's here. Good to have you. You missed most of it, though. Oh, Chadwick got a Keep Key for $16. Pretty good price. Keep Key is a hardware device, right? Congrats on that. Yes, Digibyte had quite a bit of a run-up, I noticed the other day, Scott. I hope you, were happy with that. So once again, guys, thanks for joining me this morning. I hope I was able to clear up some questions for Susan especially. So don't forget, we do live streams on Friday nights and Tuesday mornings, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard on Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard on Tuesday. I'll take your questions and do my very best to get them answered. I'll move crypto around. I'll try to do step-by-step examples for you guys and point to the videos that are relevant if you've got, you need more help. Anyway, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, I would appreciate it when you subscribe. There's a little bell that you can click that will allow you to be alerted whenever I post new content. Once again, thanks for joining me, and hope to see you again soon.